Hey, what's up? I am, wow, dust and dust because my holes in my wall that I made. I got the outline. I just put a picture on the Facebook. I don't know which Facebook I put it on. It could have been personal Facebook. I don't know. But yeah, it's come along. It's not as great as the one that's going. My wife's, hers is much bigger. What do we do? 4 foot tall. And then the width of the things down there. There's actually some. The people who built the house left like some drywall in the wall. We had to take that out. It was behind the other drywall, and there were some boards in there and stuff I had to pull out. It was crazy. But we got it, and one of them's done. Well, the box part is done. The backing, we put a backing on hers and stuff. And then we got to work on the second one. So hers is much better because she let me test this one to see how it would go. And then we went to the store and bought all the proper tools and supplies. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, this is a weekend update, and I am searching around for stuff because somehow this dust is all over what I've shown you. So I started this stuff, the Promethean relay pipe, because I wanted to have some stuff kind of done or nearly done for the weekend, or not for the weekend, for the Eat Beers challenge, the painting challenge. Have it done when it's time for that to be done, and so that's why I was doing that. What I did get done is Mechanicum building. I don't know if I've shown this yet. Let me grab it. I've been using it. It's one in my videos, my Inquisition videos, you see. I got it done up. Pretty cool to see the it's kind of right there. That, I like that effect. Pretty cool. So that's the background that you've seen my Inquisitors on. What else did I get on the shelf? A couple pieces of the Wall of Martyrs, the trench line. Got started that. There's a couple pieces of that back there. And that may be it. Been doing the Inquisition videos this weekend. Got that going. Other than that, I don't think I've had anything else. Really. Oh, got this drop pod. And I didn't do it on a video on it because I don't know. I guess people wear drop pods all the time. I don't want stuck. But what I did, I kind of threw this in here, is I magnetized the weapon choices in it. So I got the missile launcher in there now, but you can just pop that out. Doesn't like to pop out very well because the magnets I put. What I did is there's a magnet on either side of this right here, and then there's two magnets in the in that. So at that piece, there's two magnets stuck together in that piece there. And so that's a lot of magnets in a short, tiny little area. So it's got some pull. So that shouldn't come off in a battle. I'm trying to get this one on there. There it goes. And now it's swapped to the other weapon. So cool. And get this all painted up. I'm not sure if I'm going to need this for the next tournament. And so that's why I've just got it assembled. So it may or may not go in the painting queue. Gotta bring this. Gotta get this painted for the next tournament, but it's not for me. It's for someone else. They want to borrow this in my Imperial bunker, so put that in the painting queue for them, so that they can do that. And now I'm gonna move all this stuff over here. Whoa! I guess you're supposed to look at the camera all the time, but I'm very bad at that, so forgive me. I will get better. But I just wanted to do this weekend update as a live video because it's a lot easier to throw that out real quick and not have to go through all the other processes and everything. And it is already, what time is it? 3:41, and I wanted it up by 3, so not happening by 3, right? So it's up now. I want to look here. Let me check my thingamajigger. I think it's still uploading the next Inquisition video. It's Order Hereticus, I believe. Inquisitor is up. After that, we will do the next Inquisitor, and we'll move in Acolytes and other stuff. The thing with the Inquisition now in the Imperial Agents book, it's right here behind me actually, is that the way they've got it, let me show you here, is they've got all the stuff here like that, right? And there's only a few of these Inquisition specific guys in there. And then all these that you can use in your, where is it at? Henchman stuff. All those that you can use are in different parts of the books, even weapons and stuff and equipment. You like have to flip from like, say some stuff is on page 134 and some stuff is on page 63 and some pages on page 47. It's like all over. But I will go through the major Inquisition forces. Not going to deal with Sisters of Battle or as an army. I will deal with the Sisters of Battle, the little squad that you can take as part of the Inquisition force. Although I don't have any Sisters of Battle, unfortunately, for myself to take. I have some Death Watch I can take. I have what is the other one you take? They can Sisters of Battle. Oh, of course it went out of my mind. You can take Sisters of Battle. You can take Death Watch, or what's the other one? Where are you? Grey Knights. Grey Knights. I don't have Grey Knights because I've actually had a few Grey Knight Terminator boxes, but I've turned them all into other different things. So, like Death Watch guys or Inquisitors. Inquisitor, he should be right here, yeah. Inquisitor Wallenberg is a Grey Knight Terminator model that's been converted over to be an Inquisitor. So, yeah. So if I want to take some Grey Knight Terminators, then I would have to get some more and do that. Unfortunately, I think right now the big budget thing that I'm going to spend some money on when it becomes available, hopefully soon, is I'm getting together with Robert, and we are going to buy the Triumvirate together. Robert wants Celestine and her entourage, and I'll take Greyfax and Call, and so we'll split it up like that between us, and so I'll be able to at least show you Greyfax and Call on the sprues, and we'll get them put together and get them done up and see how they do for some armies. So that is the plan. 80% chance that that's going to happen within the next few weeks. So not 100, nothing's ever 100, but good chance it's going to happen. Other than that, that was the weekend. I went to the VA, and not going to get political here, folks. Just, this is about 40K, but just the weekend update thing. Went to the VA, and I will tell you personally, even though things haven't changed yet, because Trump hasn't gone in and actually changed anything yet, the attitude and the atmosphere at the VA is better. Some of the things that they're doing to kind of, or like, I think they just sense that there's going to be this push for improvement, and they're already like, whoa, we better jump on this before it jumps on us. And it was way better there than it's been in a long time of me being there. Alrighty, well, that's all I wanted to say, so I'm going to log off the stream, and this will upload for anybody who wasn't able to catch it live, which probably is everybody because I just kind of jumped over here. I plan on coming up with an idea for when I might do some streams. You guys let me know maybe some times or dates that you guys are more open. I know it's kind of my thing is split between Europe and the US, and that's kind of a hardish thing. But I want to do some live stuff, so maybe build stuff together or do some other cool things. Alrighty guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.